Escaping a cult was hard, but starting a YouTube channel changed everything. It was September 2022 when I first hit the record button. But to get a sense of how YouTube gave me the courage to face my past and find my true self after leaving a religious cult, well, we're gonna have to rewind back to 2018. You see, this was a time when I was fully indoctrinated as a Jehovah's Witness. My whole life was dedicated to being a good servant, to being a good witness. It was the only community that I had ever known. I had no friends outside of the religion because we were taught not to be part of the world. And we were also conditioned that the end is coming like a thief at night. We were always expected to participate in the door-to-door ministry, conduct Bible studies, attend all their meetings. I mean, I was busy. But to be honest with you, I didn't think that anything was really a problem because I honestly believed in it wholeheartedly. But one of the things that started to make me feel uneasy was my interest to wanting to do more but couldn't. And I just didn't want to do more of the same stuff. I actually had an internal desire to make a greater impact. But all I remember was feeling bad for even having thoughts like that. And it just made me feel guilty. And so fast forward to 2020 when I finally had the courage to leave the doomsday cult. But that meant giving up all of my intimate relationships that I fostered for 20 years. I was absolutely scared and I absolutely did not really know who I was. Everything just felt risky. And so why am I telling you this story? It's because when I first started my YouTube channel, it wasn't easy at all because of my situation and because of my emotional and mental state. But I still had this desire to make an impact somehow. And I knew that having a YouTube channel and sharing my thoughts was one way I could help people. And surprisingly, YouTube was one of those vehicles that started to help me heal, rebuild my confidence, and discover who I really am. So how did YouTube start helping me heal after leaving a doomsday cult? Well, there really isn't a good time to wake up from a doomsday cult, and especially during the pandemic, which that was the time when I woke up, it was absolutely the worst because it did really bad things to my nervous system, and it actually created phobias for me. I actually was scared of people at one point. I mean, that's how bad my mental health was. But once I finally started to have a little bit of courage to start questioning whether I was really in a cult or not, well, where do you think I was gonna go? I definitely was not going to go to jw.org, which is their official website, because I already know what they're going to say. And because of YouTube, I started educating myself about cults in general. I started Googling things about the religion. And then ex-Jehovah's Witness YouTubers came up on my screen. Like, I remember watching the YouTube channel ExJW, The Critical Thinkers, and I just remember it like blowing my mind, the information they were talking about. And so I tell people, like, I know more about the religion now than I ever did when I was in it for 20 years or so. For me, it was very, very comforting to see other people who understood my struggle because it felt like I wasn't alone. And their example gave me the courage to start my own channel. Like, it made it more real for me. Because even when I was in the religion, I was actually watching a lot of YouTube. I was never really on social media, but I loved YouTube because there were a lot of how-to videos. And in secret, I kind of had this urge to express myself creatively. I just didn't know how. And later, I'm going to share important questions with you that I wish someone would have asked me before I started my content creation journey, because I think it would have saved me a lot of mental and emotional discomfort. And I definitely want that for you. So how did YouTube help me rebuild my confidence? Well, I say rebuild because, well, my courage and confidence, it was always there. It's just that when I left the religion, it went down the toilet, right? Because when I was in the religion, I did feel confident and courageous. Why? Is because I honestly believed in it. So my experience as a witness wasn't entirely a bad thing. I did have good moments being a witness. But one of the things that I felt that was unfair was how they treated women. There's no such thing as women leadership in the organization because they have this patriarchy headship arrangement. Ultimate decisions were made by the men in the organization, even though majority of the work was by the women in the organization. I mean, it's kind of odd because right now when I'm filming this, it's 2024, but there's a woman running for president right now. But doesn't that just show you how capable a woman is to lead? And for me personally, the fact that I was trained or I was programmed to think that women are always less than men and they're not capable of being empowered leaders or even being a leader really impacted my confidence when I left. And so it was around 8 months ago when I actually started rebuilding my confidence and courage on YouTube. Because when I first started posting back in the fall of 2022, I still had a lot of guilt, fear, and a lot of things in my subconscious mind that was pulling me back from not living my authentic self. And so a lot of this fear and negative emotion was still in my subconscious mind. And to be honest with you, I wasn't ready for my old friends from the Jehovah's Witness community to see me. I don't think I was ready for them to see a different version of me. And the more that I think about it was probably because my self-worth and validation was still attached to that community. Perhaps it probably felt like I still needed their approval in order for me to feel good. Have you ever felt that way? When you're trying to leave a situation, but you can't seem to live authentically because your self-worth and validation always came from them. And this is actually a very good question, and I really wish someone asked me this question before my content creation journey. Are you going to be ready, emotionally and mentally ready, as much as you can to manage those emotions being visible online? Are you going to be ready as much as you can when your old community sees you? Do you have the right support to do that? Because it can be very overwhelming and terrifying, especially for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, because we were taught to be no part of the world. We were taught that a lot of things was wrong. It takes a lot of courage to be visible online and to put yourself out there. Like, I remember my heart beating so fast, trying to press the publish button. But looking back at it now, like, it was really those mental blocks that was really stopping me from showing up. And so I ended up taking a break. Taking a break on me, right? Taking a break and learning how to support myself mentally and emotionally. So sometimes strengthening our confidence and courage means taking a step back to move forward. But the desire to create videos never left me. I just needed to take a step back and work on me. And so when I came back on YouTube, I had a different mindset. I had different energy. I was more ready and excited to do the outside work, like content creation and posting and sharing, because I had done the inner work. And I think that if I had continued posting without taking a step back and supporting myself mentally and emotionally and not doing the inner work, but I kept posting and avoiding the negative emotions, I really think that the journey wouldn't have been as fruitful, and I would have still met a lot of resistance, and I probably would have just masked those resistance instead of working on them. I probably would have felt a lot of misalignment. And stick around, because I'm going to share the greatest reward that I actually got from YouTube. And so when I began my YouTube journey, again, even though I was out of the religion, right, at the high control environment, there was still some stuff in my subconscious mind. And this is what I love about this YouTube journey or being an entrepreneur, because you really do meet yourself. Meaning that this journey holds up a mirror, right? You see yourself in this mirror and you see areas where you can improve, but this mirror also reflects or reveals things that excites you. And you also see more and more of your potential. So the more that I created content, well, the more I started to uncover hidden talents, hidden skills, things that were dormant, right, for a very, very long time, because I had to push them down. Again, it's the all or nothing mentality. You had to push everything down. But because of my content creation journey, it really started to reveal things that I was passionate about. So I started to really discover who I am. And after 8 months of this internal hard work, of hiring coaches, of really getting the support and love from my community. And I thank you guys for tuning in while I was able to monetize my channel. And monetization on YouTube is such a great milestone. It's such a reward. But to be honest with you, the real reward comes from using my newfound freedom, this freedom I have now, to explore. The reward of working on my gifts so that I could share my gifts with you. But if you still have that self-doubt and fear that's pulling you back from diving into this world of being a content creator or just expressing yourself out into the world, well, I got you, because I made this video just for you so that you can start turning your fear into your advantage. So always remember, my friends, to own your story, own your power, and live your truth. I'll see you there.